So I would say the biggest challenge is finding a subject matter. For some people, it's just coincidental. And so like if you're going beyond that kind of aesthetic type of artwork, it's really hard to find something that gives more meaning. So like if it's a person, it's all about the position and pose they're doing, or their the way they look and what type of meaning that has. So if you look at some paintings that might be really beautiful, like a nude or something like that, often those are kind of empty because they don't really have a lot of meaning to them. It's just a portrait of somebody, versus like maybe a painting that does have meaning, and those are much harder to find. My name is Lee Urbina, and I'm from Gallup, New Mexico. I had always kind of did artwork when I was younger, and then probably within like the first year after high school, I took an oil painting class. It was at the community college in Gallup, and it was really inspiring because I felt like I had a voice and I felt like it could give me direction. So I had painted pretty steadily probably about 10 years after high school, and that was pretty much where I focused all my energy. Sometimes it would consume my entire day, so sometimes I would spend like 10 hours a day just painting. So I did have a really good art tutor, and she kind of took me under her wing. Her name was Mary Bordelis. I was kind of misguided at that time, so that was just it felt like my world was coming together when that happened. Her guidance definitely gave me this like almost like a meaning of life type thing. So that was extremely important to me because I didn't have like any idea what I wanted to do for a career. I had no job prospects, and I was completely lost. Really, it was just artwork that kind of had given me a direction. I kind of mimicked a lot of my artwork from a lot of surrealist painters, so like Rene Magritte and Salvador Dali, that kind of thing, or magic realism. I definitely would like to do things that are more aesthetically pleasing, because I feel like some of my paintings can be a little creepy or odd, and those are fun and all, but I definitely would like to have things in people's houses where they like want it to be there, like it's a beautifying thing versus this creepy thing in their house. I definitely like to have paintings that have a bit of a meaning to them versus paintings that are just pretty objects. So if I could do both, if I could have something that was meaningful and pretty, that would be my ideal subject. I used to smoke back then when I painted a lot more, so I used to paint for a while, then I'd come back and like smoke cigarettes and like look at my paintings and look at different angles and try to reinvent it. I think now when I look at artwork, I really enjoy going to museums and seeing what other artists are making, and that kind of gives me a jump or a jog into the imagery of my mind. I have some artist friends and they kind of showed me some art techniques to kind of like get your brain jumping. So sometimes I do those, which is just kind of like drawing objects with your eyes closed. And I found those to be pretty good, actually. I was pretty happy with how they came out. So those are all awesome techniques. I think clearing your mind is important, because if you spend too much time in front of the canvas, it can definitely suck all the energy out of you and leave you frustrated. It was kind of difficult for me to give up artwork. The motivations for me doing it was because, well, basically I wasn't making any money selling artwork. And I definitely did not want to get into a direction where like I didn't have anything to show for in my life by just being a painter. They lived really awesome lives, but I mean, I wanted a house, I wanted a career, all these things. There was that. There was also a lot of frustration because I guess I had like kind of like a writer's block with painting too, where I felt very frustrated because it seemed like a lot of the things that were coming out were just repetitive and the same thing. I'm definitely hopeful now. I have tons of art supplies, I have tons of canvases and frames and everything. I mean, I have like enough to do like 3 shows, so I should be able to just knock some stuff out. And I've noticed I've been involved as a painter even though I haven't actually been painting. And it is almost something that's like riding a bike or something like that. Like the skill doesn't go away. There's like a muscle memory thing to it. So but that's basically why I stopped painting. What I do find very enjoyable about making art is I feel like it's this great expression that I can't let out any other way. And it's almost something that's not refutable. And if somebody looks at it, it speaks for itself versus feelings or things like that, they seem to disappear. Whereas paintings are permanent. I was also really attracted as a kid to like the idea of like making something extremely valuable out of almost nothing. So like if you look at the most treasured artworks of the world, those are no different than pretty much what a kid makes in his art class, in substance anyways. The difference is the expression and what's made out of it. So what it's forged out of is the same thing, but the ending product is really what the difference is. This is more of an aesthetic thing, but it's a painting of Shiprock, which is kind of it has like a lot of sentimental and emotional value to a lot of Native Americans, but it's just this landmark here in New Mexico. I feel like it's almost like a type of therapy. A lot of people might have to do dancing or singing or something creative, and I think in a way, I was just telling my friend this, I feel like it's the meaning of life is essentially to create. And when you stop doing that, you basically just become almost like a drone or something like that. At least that's what I feel like the meaning is. So whether it's working on your house or whether it's creating children, I think that's really what it comes down to.